A young man found himself trapped in a web of his own making. The problem that tormented him seemed insurmountable, and no matter how hard he tried, he could not find a way out. His days were consumed with endless walks through bustling streets and quiet alleys, his nights spent in tea shops and coffee houses, seeking guidance from strangers. He would sit for hours, listening to different opinions, hoping that someone would say something that could free him from his misery. Yet, despite all his efforts, the solution remained elusive, and despair clung to him like a shadow. One evening, weary from his fruitless search, he entered a coffee house he had never visited before. The place was warm and inviting, filled with the rich aroma of freshly brewed coffee and the hum of quiet conversations. As he scanned the room, his eyes settled on an older man sitting in a secluded corner, quietly reading a book. The young man immediately recognized him. He was known for his intelligence and keen judgment, a man who could see through people and situations with clarity. But more importantly, he also knew that this older man was not his friend. He was his enemy. The young man hesitated, uncertainty warring with his desperate need for counsel. Instead of approaching immediately, he took a seat at a nearby table, positioning himself where he could observe the older man. He studied him carefully, taking in his calm demeanor, the way he turned the pages of his book with slow precision. He remembered the man's sharp mind and fair judgment. Minutes passed as he gathered his courage, and finally he stood up and approached. "Sir," he said, his voice edged with hesitation, "may I sit with you for just a moment?" The older man looked up from his book, his expression betraying mild irritation at the interruption. His gaze lingered on the young man for a moment before he gave a small nod. The young man quickly took the seat across from him, his heart pounding. He wasted no time in laying out his troubles. He spoke candidly, revealing the turmoil that had consumed him for so long, the problem that had entangled him, the burden he carried, the sleepless nights, and the endless search for a solution. The older man listened without saying a word, his face unreadable. When the young man finally finished, he exhaled deeply and shook his head. "My good man," he said, his voice calm but firm, "you are seeking counsel from the wrong person. You should go to a friend, someone who truly cares for you. I, however, am your staunch enemy. I have no love for you and could easily misguide you. Why would you trust my advice? A friend's counsel is what you need, not mine." The young man sat still, letting the words sink in. The older man's logic was sound, but he had already thought this through. He had sought advice from many, yet no one had given him a solution. He knew that a friend's heart was full of kindness, but kindness alone did not guarantee wisdom. He took a deep breath and replied, "I understand your feelings toward me, sir," he admitted, "but I also know you to be a man of great intelligence, a man who would never commit a wrong act. And because of that, I know you would never advise another to do so either. That is why I trust your judgment above my own, or even that of a friend." The older man regarded him for a long moment, the weight of the young man's words settling between them. He had spoken the truth. Wisdom knows no allegiance. Even from an enemy's lips, truth remains truth. Finally, the older man leaned forward slightly, his expression softening just a little. Perhaps, he realized, the young man had indeed come to the right place after all.